everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county seat in the state of Tennessee. Today date, early Sunday morning, June the 10th, 2019, the time 2:16 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement support. I continue to keep myself employed right here in the Memphis tri-state area. I continue to further my education at Monroe College online, pursuing my social degree, studying business administration, concentration in marketing. At the present time, I took a break from going to school, but in the very near future, I will be going back to Monroe College online. I'm going to continue to pursue my social degree, studying business administration, concentration in marketing. This year, January of 2019, I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis, and right here in the Memphis tri-state area, in a medical assistant program. Now, the reason why it's a 9-month program, and the reason why I did that because back in 2009, 2010, I was a student at Remington College in the medical billing and coding program. I did graduate, earned my diploma. Excuse me. And I didn't get the certification though because it wasn't included in the program. So you can't work in the healthcare field if you don't have a certification. And so, like I said, and then I still got to pay that student loan back. See, that's the thing. I'm not even employed in the healthcare field, but I'm having to pay the student loans back. And so I enrolled at Health Tech Institute of Memphis right here in this Memphis tri-state area, and then got in the medical assistant program. And when I graduated with the diploma as well as with the certification. Then I'd be employed in the healthcare field. But the thing about it, I'd be able to pay my student loans back. Then I'd be able to go back to Monroe College online to continue to pursue my social degree, studying business administration, concentration in marketing, and earn my degree, and go on from there. Excuse me. Excuse me. But what I'm gonna do right now, do my Instagram. Because I got a lot of information come and do my Instagram. Okay. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county seat. It's in the state of Tennessee. Today and date is early Sunday morning. It's June the 10th, 2019. The time 2:20 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement and support. Sure. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logos. First, want to always give thanks to God. Always, God come first. Always. Because see, all that so-called devil worship, there's no such thing as no devil worship. No such thing. See, we finna get to the heart of the whole issue. There's no such thing as devil worship. Worship no devil. God is all powerful. God is all knowing, and God is ever present. God is all over the place. God everywhere. So all you so-called wannabe devil worshippers, you know, Jesus Christ said repent, and that the people who call themselves want to be a devil worshiper, you're gonna be punished. The devil gonna be punished, and all those that offend, all them that offend and that do iniquity, all those people gonna be separated. Jesus said he gonna separate the sheep from the goats. Now, and the goats gonna be punished, and the sheep gonna go to heaven. Now, if you too doggone ignorant, blind, deaf, and dumb to see that some people gonna be punished in hell, and while other people gonna be blessed by God and go to heaven, you know, that's what you deserve. You want to choose the devil over God. Well, you blind, deaf, and dumb. You are blind, deaf, and dumb. You are ignorant. Now, after I do my Instagram video, my YouTube channel is recording. I'm gonna do my Facebook Live. I had to work yesterday, so on this weekend, work Saturday, I had to work. So here it is Sunday. Well, Sunday, early Monday morning, I had to work. So I didn't do my video yesterday, but I'm doing my video today. But after I do my Instagram video, I'm going to do my Facebook Live video. Excuse me. Now, I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they are a gang, people saying they are a mob, people put the stir on the end of gang and mob. Merriam-Webster's Third New International Dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary, give you the complete and total definition, meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any and every other word. And then you be going around calling yourself a boss, a goon, a thug, a crook, a hoodlum, a mac, a player, a pimp, a whore, a hustler. Call yourself a nigga, feel a nigga, house nigga. It's street slang. People all over the earth communicate and use language. And ain't nothing official, ain't nothing right about no street slang. Ain't nothing official, ain't nothing right about no street slang. Now, the examples of street slang, for example, tic-tac-toe, hop, scotch. Now, when it comes to music, examples of street slang, hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, beat-bop. It's street slang. Ain't nothing official right about no street slang. And then you have money. Now, we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia. We can look up money, currency exchange. People all over the earth use money, use currency exchange. They make up street slang for money, currency exchange. Now, here in the United States of America, examples of street slang for money, currency exchange are bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loop, move, Benjamin, dead president. It's street slang. Ain't nothing official right about no street slang. Now, people that have, like me, I graduated high school, earned a high school diploma, and I do have some years of college. I haven't graduated, I haven't earned my social degree yet from Monroe College online. Studying business administration with concentration market. I haven't earned my social degree yet. I took a break, but I do intend to go back to school and earn my social degree in business administration, concentration market. I'm still paying what I got to pay the student loan back. what sense that make? So I definitely got to go back and get my degree. But some people then graduate high school, then earn a high school, but they earn a GED, and then they end up going to college and earn a social degree, master's degree, PhD. Then you have those people who just didn't go that far in school, period. They just didn't go, for whatever reason, they didn't go that far in school. Then if you didn't go that far in school, then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, and you don't know science and technology. You don't know social studies. You don't know social studies. And then you don't know vocational technical training. Now, on-the-job training is on-the-job training. And then you have those people that did go further in school. You know, they graduated high school. They earned a high school diploma. They took the ACT, SAT, and then they earned, social degree, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD, so on, the sorority and fraternity. See, this would be why that pre-13 colony history is so important. It's very important. Very important. A bunch of people walking around lying. And they assuming. But that pre-13 colony history is important. And the sorority and fraternity. Now, Harvard University, the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary was recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, at Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. Then you had the first women's fraternity, DuPont College, 18-something. Now, the basis of the sorority and the fraternity, them old world secret society. Like, for example, Hermetism, Gnosticism, and Kabbalah, and all that junk. And then they made up all these secret societies and junk, all on this old made up junk. They made it up. It's a made up junk. Bunch of lies. See all that old want to be devil worship. Now, the Freemasons, the Eastern Stars. They be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Holloway manuscript or the Regis form or the Cook manuscript. And then you have the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret societies. Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Son of the Liberty, Thug Society, Private Scion, Order of Templarian, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodland, the Ancient Arab Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Women, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Loyal Order of Moose, the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Matthias, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil Prophets and Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, the United Ancient Order of Druids, the National Grange, the Ancient Order of Urbanans, and also the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. It's some more. There's just a few. There's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. Now you say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osira. It's just a few. There's some more. don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. Now, the sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. They use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarette cigar. They put drugs in the cigarette cigar. They indulge in gambling, games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities, assault, rape, molestation, burglary, robbery. They cheat, lie, steal, extortion, bribery, anything you classify as a crime. The sorority and fraternity, because they want to be devil worship. They want to be devil worship, and they indulge in sexual deviance in the private. So don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you with them initiation rituals. They use hazing in the initiation. That's a crime. And those initiation rituals, that is some wannabe devil worship stuff. And so don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Get out of the sorority and fraternity. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority and fraternity. Expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those that was involved in beginning, starting the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept, the idea of sorority and fraternity, them old world secret society. Some wannabe devil worship. It's not right. Some wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. No such thing. The sorority and fraternity, they work for these, they work and they also manage the businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check, and they commit crimes against humanity, atrocity. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. See, them old world secret society, they the basis of the sorority and fraternity. And then the sorority and fraternity, just like all that human and animal sacrifices. It's just like poaching. Some wannabe devil worship. That what them poachers, that's what that poaching is. Because see, when you see how they the animals and the plants and all the life on this earth is being destroyed. You understand? See, they not trying to do anything for business. Trying to make a living. These people are some wannabe devil worshippers. They evil and wicked. So don't let the sorority and fraternity and the old world secret society mislead you. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. This is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. Now there are other organizations such as the one we just mentioned, such as Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network, the Conservation International Wildlife Conservation Society, the Conservation Fund, the Legal Conservation Voters, Earthwise Institute Conservancy Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers. And also Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders of Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, and also Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Ocean Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. Now there's just a few. There are many more organizations such as the one we just mentioned. They try to stop all these crimes. Because what they do, they commit crimes. The sorority and the fraternity, they commit crimes. And they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violations of human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. You see, like I said, all that initiation rituals and all that, the sorority and the fraternity, some want to be devil worship. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. It never has been, never will be. You've been lying. That's all you do is lie. That's all you're doing is lying. Them old world secret society, that's what they be doing. They be lying. And all that animal sacrifice and human sacrifice, they be lying. Some want to be devil worship. There's no such thing. Don't let the sorority and return them old world secret society mislead you. Now, see, that's the reason why the 13 colonies, the history before the 13 colonies is so important. It's so important to put emphasis on the history before the 13 colonies. See, it's important. It's important. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Okay, and then you have state name. Hold on. Now you have state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Now I'm going to scroll down where it says see also the list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. And see, this will be why the history before the 13 colonies is so important. See, when you be saying all that gang and mob, and then you be saying all that boss, goon, thug, and crook, and hoodlum, and mac, and player, and what all that junk you be saying, pimp and whore, and hustler, and all that, and nigger, and all that. See, when you be saying all that ignorant nonsense, see, this is what we were talking about, history before the 13 colonies. And see, the settlers that came over. Even before then, you had the explorers who came over from Europe and so on and so forth. And then the settlers came to America. But see, there wasn't no Africans here. And then, then you had the slave trade. Well, see, before the East African, West African slave trade, you had the slave trade that was in what they call today modern day Turkey, Cilicia, and Tarsus, in that area in the Mediterranean. See, it was some slave trading going on, and then the Roman Empire, of course, was involved in slave trade. The pirates, and and then they started bringing slaves from sub-Saharan Africa. You know, the East African slave trade was first, and that we was talking about tip who tip, and you know, being involved in the East African slave trade. You know, the Arabs, and they was calling, you know, they called slaves Zunj and all that. Well, we done went over that, and we still going over because it's important. And then you had slaves being brought from in the West African slave trade. Then you had the slave Africans from sub-Saharan Africa. You know, who were already being transported in the East African slave trade. Then you had the West African slave trade, where slaves were being brought to from sub-Saharan Africa to the Caribbean, Central and South America, and possibly Mexico first, and then those pirates had brought some slaves, and you know, the first slave that came to the United States of America came from Angola. And the pirates, see, they weren't intended, they weren't supposed to come here. They was intended to go to the Caribbean, Central and South America. But see, one of those slave ships diverted and came and made a trade with the settlers for some supplies. And they had some slaves from Angola on the ship. So they traded those slaves from Angola for some supplies. And that's how the first slaves came to this country, to the United States of America. It was the pirates. And so now let me go there right quick. Now they give you the definition, Merriam-Webster, when you look it up, piracy. And so what we're going to do, we're going to go to the quick reference right quick and just go to piracy. And it gives you, the history of piracy. Now the Jolly Rancher and all that of piracy. Now it gives you the history of piracy. Different places on the earth, like in Europe and the Middle Ages. Let me scroll down here. Let me see here. The Mediterranean. They talk about the sea people and being involved in piracy. The Phoenicians, the Illyrians, and the Carthaginians, and the ancient Greeks being involved in piracy. The Mediterranean Corsair, let me see here. Then you have like Africa, Asia, so on and so forth. So in your spare time, like I said, we're gonna continue to go over this because it's important. It's very important because this is the pre-13 colony history. It's very important. See, and we're gonna be going over this indefinitely. Now, and see, that's what all that Catholic Church. This is what we talking about, the first century and the Christians and the Jews. See, that's where it's all connected. It's all connected. And the Catholic Church, the Latin Rite, the Alexandrian Rite, Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, the East Syrian Rite, West Syrian Rite. Catholic Church, organized crime and devil worship. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church, the 95 Theses. It's the Catholic Church. Major branches, minor branches, interdenominational movement, other developments, related movements. And then you have the American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement. That's the Churches of Christ. The unaffiliated Christian Church, the Church of Christ Congregation, the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. And so, as you know, it's still the Catholic Church. Because see, what they was trying to do, they claimed they was trying to go back to the first century church. That was the Catholic Church. That was the Catholic Church that they was talking about, because Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote several letters, and one of the letters that he wrote to the Smyrnaeans, and in that letter that he wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. He wrote the phrase, and as you know, after that, in front of 50,000 plus fans in the Roman Colosseum, Saint Ignatius of Antioch was eaten alive by lions. Now, then you have these man-made groups, the cults. For example, Jim Jones, David Koresh. You have the Amish, the Mennonites. You have L. Ron Hubbard, Scientology, the Mormons, the Book of Mormons. Was it Zoroastrian? The Zoroastrians. He claimed he was a prophet. Islam, Prophet Muhammad. That's the Sunni Muslims, and Prophet Ali. That's the Shiite Muslims. then you had the Baha'i. He claimed he was some kind of prophet. And then you had the Sikhs. They claimed that some man was a prophet and he wrote some kind of book. And then you had these other groups, the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the new Black Panther Party. And you have all these various Black Hebrew Israelite groups. And for example, over there in Israel today, what's his name? Ben Ami. And then you have all these Rastafarian movement groups. And you have all these Pan-Africanists. Now these Pan-Africans, they be talking about the government and the economy, for example, democracy, nationalism, fascism, Nazism, communism, Marxism. See, that's what the Pan-Africanists be talking about, and then they be talking about capitalism, totalitarianism, monarchies, all that kind of stuff, stuff with the government and the economy. That's what the Pan-Africanists be talking about. See, when you get through talking about all that, see, this is what all that wannabe devil worship. See, all that wannabe devil worship. Some wannabe devil worship. No such thing. No such thing worshiping devil. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. He wrote several epistles. He wrote all those epistles. And in those epistles, he called himself an apostle. He was a liar. He's a murderer. He's a devil. And all these man-made religious groups, they used those epistles that he wrote. One of the verses that they epistles that he used with the verse, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss. The church with the suffix ES of Christ salute you. Another epistle that the man-made religious groups used that Saul wrote. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory and union in the church with the suffix ES of God for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. Now this is a list of occult symbols. Now these are world religions and occult symbols. Now these are occult symbols. Now, now also when we was talking about the piracy, you know, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says "See also," and also where it says the references. And see, because there are books you can read, so in your in your own time, you can scroll down to the bottom, and there are books that you can refer to, and you can go to the library or go online and get more and more information on pirates and piracy. And because when they brought the slaves, the first after the first slaves were brought from sub-Saharan Africa to America, there were slaves were being brought to the East Coast, but then you also had slave ports in those southern states. As you know, of course, the state of Florida, they were bringing slave ports were on both sides of the state of Florida, and the state of Alabama. The last slaves that came from sub-Saharan Africa came to the state of Alabama. The state of Texas, Gallatin, Texas, slave port. New Orleans, Louisiana, slave port. The state of Mississippi, slave port, and so on and so forth. Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. So that's the reason why all this information about the pirates and piracy is so important. And so, like I say, in your spare time, get as much information as you can. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you go to make anti-gang logo. Now, I'm going to end my Instagram video, and like I said, after I end my Instagram video, I'm going to do my Facebook Live video. My YouTube channel is recording. just ended my Instagram video, so now I'm finna do my Facebook live video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county, Shelby, in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early, Monday morning, June the 10th, 2019. The time, 3:12 a.m. First, I thank all my family support for your continued encouragement support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now, I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they're a gang, they're a mob. Then they put the word stir on the end. Merriam-Webster's Third New International Dictionary, Oxford English Dictionary, gives you the complete and total definition and meaning of the word gang, mob, then put stir on the end, any and every other word. Then you say you're a boss, you're a goon, you're a thug, you're a crook, you're a hoodlum, you're a Mac, you're a player, you're a pimp, you're a whore, you're a hustler, you're a nigga. You're a nigga, how's a nigga? Well, People all over the earth communicate and use language, some street slang. Ain't nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. For example, tic-tac-toe, hop and scotch. When it comes to music, examples of street slang: hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. When it comes to money, currency exchange, we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, for example, and we can look up money, currency exchange. People all over earth use money, currency exchange. They make up street slang for money, currency exchange. So we examples of street slang for money, currency exchange here in the United States of America: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead presidents. There's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, now me, I graduated high school. You know, I earned my high school diploma, and I do have some years to college. And I haven't earned my social security as of yet. I do intend to go back to Monroe College online and earn my social security, be administrative, concentrated market. I just took a break. But some people been graduated high school, they earned a GED, and then they went on and earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, so on and so forth. And then you have those people who just didn't go that far in school, period, for whatever reason. Then you don't know reading, writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, technology, you don't know social studies, you don't know vocational technical training. Now, on-the-job training is just that, on-the-job training. And then you have those other people who did go further in school. They graduated high school, earned that high school diploma, took the ACT, SAT, and earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, so on and so forth. That's a sorority and fraternity. That's the reason why this is the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. So important. Look, I just ended my Instagram video. And now I'm doing my Facebook Live video. And that's the emphasis being placed on the pre-13 colony history. Harvard University, the oldest institution of higher learning, United States, March 13, 1639. Cambridge, Massachusetts, William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning here in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary is recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse, University of Syracuse, New York. Then you had the first women's fraternity at DePaul College, 18-something. Now, the basis of the sorority fraternity, them old world secret society, for example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390-1425, and talk about him in the Holloway manuscript, reads the poem, the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society: Skull and Bone, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, Thug Society, the Prime Scion, the Order of Templar Orient, the Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Women, the Ancient Arab Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisters of Freemasonry, the Lower Order Moose. Now, when you talk about Freemasons, you know Eastern Star Freemasons, the Lower Order Moose, and the Elks. The Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Bethesda, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forest Society, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of Veil, Prophecy, and the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order, Druids, the National Grain, the Ancient Order of Urban Nans, Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, for example. It's just a few. There's just a few. There's some more. the Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. You say Mafia. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asian. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. I mean, it's just a few. There's some more. It's just a few. There's some more. And so, like I say, don't let the sorority and the fraternity mislead you. You know, the sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes. You know, they commit crimes. The sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. They commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. For example, hazing. Hazing is a crime. Hazing is a crime. And they use the hazing for initiation ritual. Then they the sorority return those initiation rituals. Some wannabe devil worshippers. Wannabe devil worship. No such thing as worshiping the devil. Never has been. Never will be. That's what we constantly putting emphasis on, is exposing this so-called wannabe devil worship. God is all powerful. God is all knowing. God is ever present. There's no such thing as worshiping no devil. No such thing. The devil is being punished by God. And God, you know, Jesus said He's gonna separate the sheep and the goats. The goat's gonna be punished and the sheep gonna go to heaven. So what sense that make to be a devil worship? You don't make no sense whatsoever. You ain't making no sense. Jesus Christ said He's gonna bless you. They commit crimes on and off the campus, college and university campus. They use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigar. They put drugs in the cigarettes and cigar. They indulge in gambling and gangs of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities. They lie, cheat, and steal, assault, rape, molestation, burglary, robbery, extortion, bribery, anything you consider to be a crime. The sorority fraternity. They indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. See, don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity being on the college and university campus like they doing what's right. They took the ACT and SET. No, they not. They not trying to do what's right. Look, get out the sorority fraternity. Don't join the sorority fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority fraternity, and expose the sorority fraternity. Renounce all those who began and started the sorority fraternity, the old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept and idea of a sorority fraternity, the old world secret society. And the sorority fraternity, they work and they manage all these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. See, all that stuff about the initiation rituals. See, they're just like poaching. Just like poaching. Some wannabe devil worship. See, they're not trying to make a living. They're not doing what they're doing to make a living. They're some wannabe devil worship. They're trying to kill themselves as well as kill everything else. That's what that poaching is. Some wannabe devil worship, animal sacrifice and human sacrifice. That's what they be doing. See, don't be misled by the sorority fraternity being on college campus. Now, this is the International Bill of Human Rights. This is the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. And this is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. And just like those organizations we just mentioned, there's some more. Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights, Frontline Defenders, Human Rights Without Frontiers, International Service for Human Rights, and also Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Voters, Earth Watch, Institute Conservation Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity Nature Conservation Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. Now, there are many more. Those are just a few. There are many more. And all these organizations are trying to end, they are trying to stop all the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, them old world secret society, they commit against humanity, atrocities, violations of human rights and civil rights in humanity. True. Genocide and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by these sororities and these fraternities, these old world secret society. Don't be misled. Wanna be devil worshippers. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. They some wannabes. They wanna be devil worshippers. See, there's only one church. Only one church. And that one church being persecuted. being persecuted by the sorority of them old world society, being persecuted. And that's the reason why. That's the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. It's so important. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now you have state names like Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now, what I'm going to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom where it says see also, and you'll see a list of place names of indigenous origin in Americas. See, that's the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so on. See, when we be talking about the Native Americans, see, when people be saying all that gang and mob and put stir on the end, then you go around talking about boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and mac and player and pimp and whore and hustler and nigger. See, this is where it comes from. See, it's that pre-13 colony history. It's that pre-13 colony history. You see, slave, what they call modern day Turkey today, Cilicia, Tarsus, that reason. And see, that's the reason why there's no such thing as no gang banks and mob banks on the East Coast. Because see, the pre-13 colony history. See, there's no such thing as no gang and mob banks on the East Coast. There's no such thing. There's no such thing riding around no motorcycle talking about you a gang and a mob. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as Chicago, Illinois being a gang and a mob base. We just got through seeing the list of place names of Native American origin. We just got through looking at it. List of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Chicago, Illinois. When you say Illinois, when you say Illinois, there's no such thing. There's no gang and mob. Chicago, Illinois is not no gang and mob base. There's no such thing, no folk and motive. There's no such thing as no folk gang, no my people gang. There's no such thing. No such thing. You don't get away with it. That's not right. That's not right. You see in Chicago, Illinois, that's Native America. You see gang and mob. You see gang and mob. That's that pre-13 colony history. That's them criminals who came over. When we talk about the history of street gangs in America, that's where that came from. That's where that came from. See, there's no such thing, no devil worship. There's no such thing, no devil worship. No such thing. And then Los Angeles, California, not no gang, no mob base. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang. There's no such thing, no stone gang. There's no such thing. Ain't no such thing. To lie like that, there ain't no such thing. no such thing as no some gun walking around talking about wearing no red or blue. And we looking at the list of place names of Native American origin in the United States, and you talking about some gang and mob. And then let me go right over it. And then scroll down all the way to the bottom where it says see also. List of place names of indigenous origin in America. See, that's the reason why the pre-13 continent history is so important. See? And then when we were talking about Cilician and Tarsus slavery, and then you had the East African slave trade, when we were talking about Tip, the East African slave trade, the Arabs, and they were calling the slaves Zons, the East African slave trade. Then you had the West African slave trade, from sub-Saharan Africa. They were being sent to the Caribbean, to Central America and South America. It was the pirates. And then on one occasion, those pirates took some slaves from Angola, and they ran out of their supplies. So they diverted, they rerouted and came up the coast and went up there where the settlers were at, and they traded slaves for supplies. And that's how the first slaves from sub-Saharan Africa, who came from Angola, came to the United States of America. And see, those pirates, some wannabe devil worshippers. And then from that point on, you had slaves coming from sub-Saharan Africa to the East Coast and also to the southern states. Now, the state of Florida on both sides had slave ports. The state of Alabama was a slave. The last slave from sub-Saharan Africa came to the state of Alabama. Now, Galveston, Texas was a slave port. New Orleans, Louisiana, slave port. The state of Mississippi, slave port. Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. See, that's the reason why the pre-13 continent history is so important. It's so important. Now let me okay. Let me see here. Let's see, scroll down. Let's see also. List of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. Now, like we were talking about piracy, the pirates. Now the definition, the complete total definition and meaning of the word pirates and piracy. Well, we go to Wikipedia, a quick reference, Wikipedia, piracy. So when it comes to piracy, as you know, it's an act of robbery or criminal violence by a ship or boat. Boat-borne attackers upon another ship or a coastal area, so on and so forth. Okay, and then when you scroll down, you go to history, the history of piracy. Europe, the Middle Ages. Okay, let me see here. Okay, the Mediterranean. See, there was a lot of piracy going on. I mean, Africa, Asia. It's devil worship. It's all devil worship. Suppose some wannabe devil worship. And so on. What we're gonna do is scroll down to the bottom down here. Scroll down to the bottom. I think I went too far. Okay, yeah. Went a little too far. But go down there where it says when you go down to the bottom, you have culture and social structure, the known pirates, shipwreck, privateers, commerce raiders, legal agricultural procedure, economic, so on, so where it says see also. And then you go down to the bottom where it says see also, and you have some more information to look at. Let me see here. Then you can go down to where it says references. Now see, references they're books for you to refer to on piracy, on pirates and piracy. So scroll down to the bottom where it says see also in pirates references. And so on and so forth. Let me see here. It's a lot of information. And like I say, in your own spare time, I mean, you can go to the library and get information on piracy. You can go back online, do your own search and research and so on and so forth. Then some external links and so on. But I mean, see, this is reading by the pre-13 colony history. It's so important. This so-called wannabe devil worship. Now, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, a liar, a murderer, a devil. He wrote all those epistles, and these man-made religious organizations, they used those epistles that he wrote. He called himself an apostle. He wasn't no apostle. He was lying. Now, one of the verses that he used, that the man-made organization used, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy kiss, the church with the 7 ES of Christ salute you. And another verse that the man-made religious organization used, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. So we ourselves glory in you in the church with the 7 ES of God for your patience and faith and all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now this is a list of occult terms. Now this is a list of occult symbols. Now these are world religions and occult symbols. And these are occult symbols. so all the information we just went over. We see the Catholic Church, the Latin Rite, Latin Alexandrian Rite, the Armenian Rite, the Byzantine Rite, East Syrian Rite, West Syrian Rite, organized crime, wannabe devil worship. Protestant Reformation Movement Churches, 95 Theses. That's the Catholic Church. Organized crime, some wannabe devil worship. Major branches, minor branches, interdenominational movement, other developments and related movements. And you have the American Restoration Movement, the Stone Campbell Movement, the Churches of Christ, the unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ Congregation, Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. That's the Catholic Church. See, they claim they was trying to go back to the first century church. That was the Catholic Church. And Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote several letters. One of the letters that Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote, he wrote to the Smyrnaeans. And in that letter that Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote to the Smyrnaeans, he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. And after he wrote that letter with the phrase Catholic Church to the Smyrnaeans, in front of 60,000 plus 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum, Saint Ignatius of Antioch was eaten alive by lions. And then you have all these man-made religious groups, cults, such as Jim Jones, David Koresh, the Amish, the Mennonites, groups like that, Scientology, that's L. Ron Hubbard, the Mormon wrote a book. You have groups like the Zoroastrian, he was a prophet, claimed he was a prophet. Islam, Prophet Muhammad, that's the Sunni Muslim. Prophet Ali, that's the Shiite Muslims. The Baha'i, they had a prophet. And the Sikhs, they had a prophet. And he wrote some kind of book or something. But and you also have all these other groups, the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, the 5% Nation, the American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the New Black Panther Party. And you have all these black Hebrew Israelite groups. For example, over there in Israel, Ben Ami. And you have all these Rastafarians. And then you have all these Pan-Africanists. They be talking about democracy and nationalism and the Republic and talking about fascism, socialism, communism, capitalism, totalitarianism, dictatorships, monarchy, and all that. Talking about all that. And that's some wannabe devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. No such thing. Now, the United States government, like governments all around the world, they enact laws that intend to make all of us safe from crime, organized crime. Now, the United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 is the Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act. The RICO Act is anti-gang. And the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, the Kingpin Statute, is all anti-gang. And the Juvenile Justice and Linkage Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Linkage Prevention, plus their other related legislation as anti-gang. the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Model Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, and the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, and the Project Safe Neighborhood, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Juvenile Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, the GREAT Program, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention. In October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which have been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which have been funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance since 2003. The National Gang Center, compilation of state laws against gangs. Gang Prevention, the Overview Research Program of Mr. James A. Out of Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of the bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States. Now, there are books in their bulletin to refer to. Read those books in the bulletin. And now you can also go to the quick reference Wikipedia, and you can find that same information, and it'll be titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, the Office of the United States Attorney Manual, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute, 18 United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, the Organized Crime and Gang Section, the other federal, state, and local agencies, the United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, Changing Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Education, United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention Forum, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative and the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gangs. Also anti-hazing. The United States Department of Justice. You can go to lawyers.com. Be informed about anti-hazing. Now the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 23. Luke chapter 1, verses 1 through 8, and Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 52. Also, all those who are watching my video, you can go to BibleStudy2.com, follow on BibleGateway.com, follow along. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26, verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14, verses 22 through 25. And Luke chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6 verses 9 through 13, and Luke chapter 11 verses 2 through 4. Read the Beatitude. Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. And also Luke chapter 6 verses 20 through 49. And also John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 3 verses 1 through 17. Emphasize verses 11 through 17. And Mark chapter 1 verses 1 through 11. Emphasize verses 7 through 11. And Luke chapter 3 verses 1 through 22. Emphasize verses 16 through 22. And also John chapter 1 verses 15 through 34. Emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, is teaching in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4 verse 23. Mark chapter 1 verse 21. Luke chapter 4 verse 15. John chapter 6 verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, he begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4 verses 12 through 25. Emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1 verses 14 through 45. Emphasize verse 14, 39 through 45. Luke chapter 4 verses 14 through 44. Emphasize verse 15, 43 and 44. And John chapter 1 verses 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God, he chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10 verses 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3 verses 13 through 35. Luke chapter 6 verses 13 through 49. John chapter 6 verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, he established the one church, the only church. Matthew chapter 16 verses 13 through 19. And Matthew chapter 18 verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28 verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16 verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24 verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapters 26 verses 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27 verses 1 through 66. Emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 60. Matthew chapter 28 verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14 verses 1 through 72. Mark chapter 15 verses 1 through 47. Emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 43 through 47. Mark chapter 16 verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22 verses 1 through 71. Luke chapter 23 verses 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24 verses 1 through 53. Emphasize verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17 verses 1 through 26. John chapter 18 verses 1 through 40. John chapter 19 verses 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. Also verses 38 through 42. John chapter 20 verses 1 through 31. And John chapter 21 verses 1 through 25. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28 verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16 verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24 verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna end this video and start another one. And it's gonna be dated, this video gonna be dated June the 10th, 2019, part 1.